So I just went to get a haircut, and the lady cutting my hair said she tried to go to Tooele yesterday, but she couldn't because I-80 was closed, and asked why, and she said due to fires. So I looked it up, and I'm going to just read this Salt Lake Tribune article. It says a few key things in here. The first fire started near Great Salt Lake Marina off Interstate I-80, officials said. Great Salt Lake Park and Marina were temporarily closed Friday afternoon due to wildfires and related power outages, according to park officials. About 60 members of the public were evacuated from the state park when it first shuttered around 2 p.m. Friday, a spokesperson for Utah State Parks said. As of Friday evening, it remained unclear when the park would reopen. The Lakeshore fire in Tooele County that prompted the closure began burning Friday near mile marker 100 on I-80, a few miles west of the Great Saltaire. East of the Lakeshore fire, a separate lone fire sparked and spanned about 100 acres before it burned into the Lakeshore fire. As of 7:45 p.m. Friday, the Lakeshore fire had burned an estimated 400 acres and was 80% contained, the Utah Bureau of Land Management reported. The blaze burned about 40 power poles and damaged a quarter-mile of railroad track. Those are both key. That's the electrical component of this. Officials confirmed at least 3 fires of unknown cause along Interstate I-80 between Lake Point and Interstate 80, State Road 102 interchange as of 4 p.m. Friday. With air resources grounded Friday afternoon due to high winds. That's key. In Colorado, there were high winds that accompanied those fires. In Kansas, there were high winds that accompanied those fires. And yesterday and today, there have been high winds in Utah that accompanied these fires. With air resources grounded Friday afternoon due to high winds, authorities were responding with engines, water tenders, and hand crews. Power lines in the area were shut off. That's what we heard in California. Oh, the wind's coming up. We better shut the power lines off because it might cause a fire and the power poles might tip over and spark a fire. Now they're going to get a little more honest. This is going somewhere. This isn't just another fire report. Power lines in the area were shut off. The Union Pacific Railroad shut down and Interstate 80 and State Road 102 were temporarily closed. Salt Lake International Airport's operations were not affected. Wind caused critical fire conditions. That's not very honest. Well, yeah, that's partially honest. But it's so incomplete, it's incorrect. The National Weather Service issued a red flag warning across most of the state until 10 p.m. on Saturday, as well as a high wind advisory until 10 p.m. Friday. The blustery winds, paired with a relative humidity of 5 to 10%, created a critical fire weather condition, which blazes can spread rapidly. Kylie Yarley or whatever, a fire prevention specialist with the Division of Forestry, Fire and State Lands, told the Salt Lake Tribune that fires have been popping up across the state. What might have been a tiny spark is now becoming acres and acres of wildfire, Yardley said, as a result of the dryness and erratic winds. We don't call it fire season anymore. It's our fire year. Fire season is just a term that came up a couple years ago anyway. Separate wildfire sparks in Salt Lake County. So they're admitting they're separate fires, not, oh, the first one was caused by a cigarette butt and sparks from the first one caused the second one and third one. They're acknowledging 3 separate fires of unknown origin. I don't have to go down there anymore and show you guys the plasma fire evidence. You can see it just from this photo. The erratic pattern, that's the fractal Lichtenberg burning pattern. Why this whole area isn't black and there's green patches all over in there. At least one other wildfire sparked in northern Utah on Friday afternoon. According to Utah Wildfire Info, the Barney Wash Fire burned about 40 acres in western Salt Lake County near Rio Tinto's Kennecott Copper Mine. Fire crews responded to that site, also largely worked from the ground due to grounded air resources, but by 3 p.m., several crews began being released from the scene, indicating that the fire had been somewhat contained, officials said. A spokesperson for Rio Tinto confirmed that brush fires occurred near the mine and that local police and Unified Fire Authority had responded to the blaze. There are no current threats to people and the causes of the fire remains unknown at this time, the spokesperson said in a statement Friday afternoon. We will continue to monitor the situation until the fires are extinguished and sites secured. So they acknowledged that they shut down the railroad and that 40 power poles were burned and that they shut off the power to the area. There was probably 40 fence posts burned as well and 40 other things. But the power poles are relevant because there's an electrical component to these fires. So when one of those holes in the magnetic field that Mr. MB3 spoke of in the most recent video that I featured, that's when these things happen and it creates the high wind and the fire simultaneously, I believe. So someone sent me an article today and said it's a long read, but then he sent me this excerpt from it. And this is regarding the calm before the storm that I've spoken so much of. And thank God they censored my channel. Or what do cattle do when they're spooked? They stampede. So let's just go ahead and read this real quick. Why all the secrecy? Due to the severity of the situation, it is mandatory to maintain public calm for as long as possible. The earth is dying. Humanity is on the road to extinction. Without the shield, and it's referring to the shield that Mr. MB3 demonstrated the very technical aspects of when showing the nanoparticles that are being spread and the reason why. That's the shield it's referring to. Solar shield, solar radiation mitigation program, aka chemtrails. And on a very similar note, today or yesterday, I think it was today, suspicious observers put out a video debunking the idea of this 40-degree pole reversal happening in 10 months. And I think what he's trying to do is maintain the calm before the storm. I commented on that video that due to the amount of plasma fire that I've cataloged and collected over the last 4 years, I didn't mention the fact that it's increased. Last year I filmed 4 or 5 or 6 live plasma fires, and previously I hadn't filmed any of them live. Anyway, so suspicious observers is telling people late 2030s, early 2040s, and I commented that due to the plasma fire I have documented, I can guarantee you we don't have 15 to 25 years, but thank God for the veil that's over their eyes, or the human herd would stampede. Moving on. Without the shield, mankind will die off within 20 to 50 years. Most people alive today could live to see this extinction take place. This means that an announcement of the situation we face boils down to telling every man, woman, and child on earth that they have no future. They are going to be killed. You mean like in the movie Knowing, where the final location of the disaster, up until that point there had been a coordinates, longitude, latitude, and the number of people that die, and the very final one just said EE, everyone everywhere. Everyone everywhere will learn about plasma fire. Moving on. People would panic. There would be an economic collapse. The production and movement of goods would collapse. Right now, they're shutting down the economy worldwide, and the production and movement of goods is collapsing. Millions would die in all cities on Earth. Riots and violence would reduce civilian centers to rubble within days. Half of the population in dense metropolitan areas would try to leave the cities seeking quote, safety in rural areas, thinking that they would be safe. Those left behind in cities would be at war with their neighbors, fighting for the remaining supplies. We would be telling the world that the world is coming to an end, and even with the shield, the chances of survival are small. So what I'm telling you here is get your shit together, not for something that could happen. Don't prep for something that might happen, like this 40-degree pole reversal. Prep for what's been happening for the last 4 years and the moment when the public finds out about it. That's what you got to worry about. When a channel like mine goes viral, it's over. We have prolonged the calm before the storm by keeping this under wraps, and no amount of censorship could have kept this under wraps if it weren't for the veil that's over their eyes, because people pass by this stuff every day, and they could have seen it just as easily as I have, but they don't. Thank God for that. The Muse message for this part of this video is Sucker for Pain by Imagine Dragons, Lil Wayne, and Wiz Khalifa. And the whole thing is about the fire. And speaking of those fires of affliction from the great purifier, Nibiru, Planet X, the Black Sun, etc., which MB3 was saying he believes in, and that is what is affecting our atmosphere. It would seem that if there is another, we are in a binary star system, and this other star has its own system around it, there might be life forms coming along with that other star. And this is all on a cosmic timer, and they know when the magnetic field is about to go. And that's when the great harvest happens, and the fires of affliction and the great purifier process us through the filter. And the other life forms on that planet are here. In this video, this guy's holding the fire in his hand, and the lyrics say, "Walk slow through the fire. And this world's gonna try us. So we put the world on our shoulders, alienated by society." This is about us. The chorus lyric says, "Take my hand through the flames, I torture you." There is an electrical component to this fire depicted in this music video as well. So, that finger over the lips telling everyone, shh. I'm going to talk more about that because I mentioned this to my boss, and he seemed to indicate that to me to keep it under my hat when we were around his nephew, like he didn't want me telling his nephew. Here's the electrical component once again. So people are like, yeah, that's one of their Illuminati secret society symbols, but you are now Illuminati, a very small group of the population that knows a lot more about what's going down than everyone around you. You now understand the reason that you should be grateful for the quote, secrecy, because when these people find out, it's over. The calm before the storm is done. No amount of censorship could have kept this from them. They keep their own minds under wraps. Remember some of these images? There he's having the electricity arc between his forefinger and his thumb. And most people would say, that's evil, that's wicked. That music video we just watched. Well, what about this video where this guy's doing pretty much the same thing? I didn't choose any of my thumbnail photos. We're going to talk about the selfish ledger online and your real-world physical 3D experiences that go according to a similar process. Based on your previous experience and interactions online, you get things coming through your feed, like Mr. MB3's video from 6 years ago that came through my feed, that gave us all a better understanding of what's going on. Likewise, you have real-world experiences that are in accordance with your ability to process them and your previous experiences in life. So this is a thumbnail. Someone commented 20 minutes ago. Someone commented on this video, and next to the comment, when you receive a comment, it shows you the thumbnail of the video. So I remembered, and I thought, oh yeah, let's throw that in this collage because that's kind of right in the same vein. And I don't remember if it's this video or a different one where I'm filming live plasma fire, and I put my hand on the log for like 30, 40 seconds to show you that it's not even warm to the touch. But guaranteed, there's some soft-minded people wanting to take a hardline stance on things they don't understand that would come after me and say, I'm the evil one. The opposite of good is not evil. The opposite of good is apathy and indifference. Like all the people who are so preoccupied with everything else that they've been too busy to notice what the fuck's going on around them. those are the ones that would call me evil, because I have amazing powers of observation. I have electric light. I have second sight. I have amazing powers of observation. We're going to go over that song here in a minute by Pink Floyd. When I pick up the phone and there's still nobody home, it's not talking about a telephone. The Muse message for this part of this video is M83 Midnight City, one that I've covered before, and Rag and Bone Man, Skin. This is all from just today that has come across my feed, including getting a haircut and the lady cutting my hair telling me about the closure on I-80 that led to this video. That's what I mean about a selfish ledger, like your online profile that determines your feed that comes through on your YouTube feed or your social media feed. There is a 3D physical world algorithm that determines your experiences based on your previous experiences, how you responded, knowing what you're capable of processing and what you'll do with it, or if you'll just sit on it and do nothing with it. But I digress. Let's check out these kids. James has mentioned something called second sight. I got electric light. I got second sight. I have amazing powers of observation.
Children with real superpowers. Third eye. Okay, this is crazy.
Leave the children are our future.
2 of the students.
And he'll show you in the end of this that it came from a BitChute channel called Pure Trauma. The last video we watched was Sucker for Pain. And James has talked a lot about how certain things only come like with a lots and lots and lots and lots of trauma, which is your third eye opening. The near-death experience that happens during an initiation, and we are in the collective initiation. But this, I'll explain more about it after we watch it.
Students who attend this special class in England and can now demonstrate remarkable abilities. I traveled to Essex, home to the United Kingdom's oldest recorded town, to a seemingly ordinary suburban neighborhood where Nicola Farmer teaches children to play games.
Where's the green? Punch the green for me. Good girl. Well done.
Read books.
Harry, can you read me a sentence from your book?
Aliens love underpants.
Fabulous.
And write, all while blindfolded. Nicola, these kids are pretty amazing.
They are friggin' amazing. They are super amazing.
But as amazing as they are, really anybody can learn this, right?
They can.
Within a certain age.
Yeah, between 6 and 12.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Because they don't have a logical brain. So the right brain is very active and the left brain hasn't kicked in yet.
Right. When I see you teaching your students, to me, it's like the X-Men Academy. You have like little blindfolded children. Some are playing with the balls in the backyard. Some are reading blindfolded. Some are drawing. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, it could be perceived to be supernatural, but it's not. My grandson, he's 8. He said, Nana, I want to become a Jedi.
Did you teach him?
I did teach him. In 7 days, I taught him all 10 sessions.
So, have you guys seen the movie X-Men? I think of you guys as having superpowers when I see what you can do. Do you feel like that?
Sort of. I wouldn't say it's a superpower, I'd say it's an ability, because everyone can do it. They
Right.
just need to learn it.
So right in this room, Nicola is teaching a class of her students, and she's invited me to sit in. So let's go meet the kids. Hi. Hi, everyone.
This is Frank. Say hi to Frank.
You're all blindfolded, but can you see me? I'll just sit right here if you want, and I'll
Absolutely.
let you finish your lecture.
Okay, so let's carry on reading.
They demonstrate their remarkable abilities right in front of our cameras.
Stop for a minute, just all of you. Violet, can you read a sentence for us?
Hello, Auntie. Hello,
Good girl.
pink pillar.
Excellent. Well done, Sunny. Violet, what's on the card, my love?
Penguin.
Good girl. Sunny, what's on the card?
Rabbit.
Good boy. Harry? Do I need to come closer?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, I'll come closer for you. What does it look like? I'll come closer.
It's like a owl.
It is an owl. Fabulous.
The ideal age to learn is between 5 and 12. Nicholas says after 12, the left side of the brain, both critical and logical, interferes with the spiritual lessons.
And run down your arm, jump off your fingers, and go and touch something in front of you. Feel it with your energy, anything you like. And then come all the way back in, run up your arm, back in your head.
I'm confident. I can do anything.
And I can do anything. You might say God was fair to children. He gave them the power to believe in themselves without any doubt, making it easy to tap into their full potential. Walt Disney said, "The problem with the world is that too many people grow up." I've documented kids in India showing us their incredible abilities, but when I heard that children right here in England and the Western countries were doing the same thing, I wanted to come and see it for myself. One of our camera operators, Joe, was not convinced. Skeptical, she tried the blindfolds on for herself. Can you see?
I can see a little bit.
What do you see?
You're here.
Uh-huh.
Okay, right, so I'm going to adjust the mask. Six, it's too high. Now, what can you see?
Now I can see it.
So it really is difficult to see when it's like this.
I can't see anything.
And even before, you really had to be looking up
You had to tilt your head back.
Yeah.
a ton. With your head tilted like that, do you see anything?
No.
If I hold my fingers down here.
No.
But then, Nicola brought out these mindfolds, as they're called, completely sealed from every angle. They are impossible to peek through. So I'm going to try this one on. Oh, yeah. I can't see anything. Oh, that just shuts it all out.
The foam.
Actually suits you, Frank.
Yeah, I can't see anything, you guys. At all.
So if Joe tries it, because she's tried the blindfold.
Yeah, let's have Joe try it. This is completely shutting everything out.
Fabulous for a play.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's good. No gap because it's completely on your face as well. It's just, yeah.
Can you see anything?
No, can't see anything.
Eyes open, eyes closed, either.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if I open my eyes, I can't see anything.
Perfect. Let me get Lucy and she can put it on.
Wow.
If the kids could still read and write using these blindfolds, all doubt among the crew would be extinguished. Okay, I'm going to write something on this paper, and you'll tell me what I wrote, right? Okay, here we go. It's going to be one word.
Light.
That was so fast. Yes, you can. Actually, can I draw something and then you redraw it? Okay. Okay. I don't know if you can tell what this is. What? I didn't even point it at you yet. Here you go.
You're so like a Mercedes.
Yeah, you're right. It was a Mercedes.
Oh, yay! I'm the best at drawing cars.
You're better than me.
I wouldn't say that.
Now you just need the windows. That's so cool. Okay. Now let's do one for Sunny. Good job. That was amazing. You did it exactly. All right, Sunny.
I'm up for the challenge.
You're up for the challenge.
What's he drawing? I know what you're drawing.
Okay, show this to the camera. And now, what have I drawn?
A queen?
Okay. That was supposed to be hair, not a crown. But that could be a queen if you wanted to. Now, would you draw one right next to it?
I'm I'm trying to ignoring.
You can't get over how amazing this is. There you go.
Like,
I'm looking at the faces of the crew, and all of them have their mouths open. Give me 5. Sonny, give me 5.
give me 10.
Okay, give me 10. Behind the camera, Joe, mouth dropped, jaw hanging, is clearly convinced by now.
Once they had the blindfold, it's just pitch black, and you can't see, you can't shoot with that one at all. And she's got it even better. They've just done it even quicker. It's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
You're saying, yeah, she got it even better when she had the jet black one on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, isn't it? So that's on BitChute, Children with Real Superpowers, from Pure Trauma 357 JM BitChute channel.
So in this video by M83 called Midnight City, again, I don't listen to Midnight City. This is the one and only song, music video I have ever seen or heard from them because it came across my feed. And in this video, they've got all these kind of kids doing these type of experiments. Like telekinesis, where he's flipping the Rubik's Cube around in the air with his mind. Or just like what we just witnessed, and a lot of people say, oh, that was a setup, they're trying to sell their services, blah, blah, blah. I'm not talking to those people. And this kid signals to the other kids, it's time to get out of here. I've been working on a jailbreak, got no time for a mistake. Any moment they'll replace me. No more time to get to know you. AWOLNATION Jailbreak, it'll be in the description also. So in the middle of the night, they get up and he blows the doors and they escape. The police give chase, or security guards, but they're no match for these kids and their superpowers, and they reach this abandoned warehouse and they get a chance to just play with their superpowers rather than having someone try to harness it and use it for their own purposes. Start really seeing what they can do. And they go outside and they cause the sun to go down. Sleestack, when all is dark, Sleestack has a big advantage. They keep focusing on their eyes and how their eyes light up. And I've shown you this in comparison to other videos that have very similar things, like total eclipse of the heart. Hence the name of the song, Midnight City. This next one is by Rag and Bone Man, and it's called Skin. And it follows this kid walking around through a post-apocalyptic world, looking for water, finding nothing but empty water bottles, and at this point, he reaches down and cups the water with his hands to drink it. At this point, he's throwing an empty water bottle out of frustration. At this point, he starts to see signs that there's others out there like him that have made it through. And this painting on the wall here is a bunch of handprint silhouettes where they've placed their hand on the wall and sprayed paint around it. And it appears that they're all kids with hand the size of his own. And by the end, that appears what's left is kids. Like in the end of the movie Knowing, it was kids that get to go. But I've said before, they need some adults who were paying attention during this lifetime, who were observant, who weren't full of apathy and indifference, who saw where we went wrong and observed what happened while we were here. They need people with the lifetime of experience, not blank slates. But for the most part, it's going to be the kids. At this point, he finds like a can of oranges, like mandarin oranges. Drinks the juice, eats the oranges, and I've said before a few times, I'm creating preps for whoever else may need them. Because I probably won't be here to use them. But I'm still collecting for those who will need it. At the end of the video, he spots a house in the distance with a fire going in it. There might be some adults in this final scene, but it appears to be mostly kids. And like I've said before, they need adults with a full life experience who aren't going to carry with them the cultural cancer that brought our society down, who are aware of that cultural cancer, not part of it, in order that these kids don't feel abducted, in order that there are some who come with and it's a smoother transition for everybody. The lyrics to this music video are also pertinent to the situation. Those kids were demonstrating abilities that we all have until we get locked into the left brain, and she referred to it as a spiritual experience, which is a component of the right brain. And she talked about how they still believe in themselves. My life experience has led me to the point where I have no doubt. Nothing is out of question.